good afternoon. I'd like to wish you all a warm welcome to this afternoon session and thank you for joining us. For the next 30 minutes, we will be talking about all things CSR. My name is Joanna Allen and I am the Head of Projects and Programmes at the Scottish Tech Army. If you have any questions throughout the session, please just put them in the comments and we'll pick them up near the end. I personally have a really keen interest in CSR. With the Scottish Tech Army working on or having delivered nearly 260 projects, it's important that we manage to keep this going and maintain our social impact. And by doing that, we need to understand who we're working with and our volunteers and what motivates them. So at this point, I'd really like to welcome and introduce our guests, starting with Andy. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Andy Bassett, a test consultant with Aginor Technology, and I've been with Aginor since 2019. And I've worked on 2 or 3 projects through the STA. Would you like me to give a bit of information on them? Just a bit of an overview?
Yeah, but we can probably come to that a little bit later in the conversation. Okay. Let's introduce everybody. Caroline, thanks Andy, by the way. Caroline, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Joanna. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Caroline McKenna, the founder and Chief Executive Officer of Social Good Connect. We make employee volunteering simple through our digital search and match platform, powered by a team of passionate humans, and it's great to be here to chat with you all.
Excellent, welcome. And Gary, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. So Gary Montgomery, I am the CEO of Aginor Technology. So since the STA launched, we've been involved. Andy is one of our consultants, one of a number of consultants, and it's great to be here to discuss it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks and welcome, guys. So before we get started, I know in technology we're very guilty of our 3-letter acronyms. I think it's important for me to say what CSR is. So CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. And basically, what does that mean? So in a world where we're increasingly seeing news and understanding what climate change is, we know we have a growing population with finite resources. There's a number of economic and social challenges that we face. The question then really becomes, how can we sustain economic development and sort of technological change and make sure it reaches the maximum number of people? Importantly, an important question for companies is, in practice, what can we do and what is our role? And as an individual, how can we address these challenges? So Aginor Technology has been working with the STA for a good part of a year now, and a number of your consultants have joined us. And I think it'd be really nice to sort of hear from you guys firsthand. Andy, it'd be really nice could you tell us a little bit more about your experience and, you know, what brought you to the Scottish Tech Army?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working off and on projects with the Scottish Tech Army since the summer of last year. And it primarily started when I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, Rona Holland, who's also a test consultant. And she was telling me about the projects that she had been involved in. And I thought, oh, I might have something to offer here. You know, I've been in IT now for, blimey, 20 plus years. So I've gained a wealth of experience in testing through a range of industries. So I thought I'll sign up, see if there's any testing type roles available that I could assist with and, you know, provide my skills and expertise. So I signed up, very quick, easy process. And within a couple of days, I saw that Social Good Connect were needing some assistance with user acceptance testing. And yeah, it all went from there. So the very first project I worked on was, as I said, with Social Good Connect. And that was for a system that they have where charities and organizations can post volunteer vacancies that they have. And in turn, employees and businesses can register and search for suitable vacancies for volunteer roles that they might be interested in and then apply. I mean, that's a very high level overview of it, but that's a summary of their system. So on that, I did some user acceptance testing, making sure that the system that they are being given from their supplier meets their needs and is stable. So that involved executing test scripts, designing test scripts, raising defects when they arise, and retesting those defects. So that was a great period of time. I then went on to work on a project called Crossreach, or a project for Crossreach, and that was more of a consultancy advisory type testing role. So I was advising them on perhaps the approach of testing they should take, the appropriate documentation that they should be completing and how to complete that documentation, as well as advising them on various test processes and techniques that would be of benefit to them. And then finally, and most recently, I've worked on a project called Soul, which is supporting our local economy. And in there, I have been more of a test management, test lead type role. So again, it's defining the test approach, leading a team of testers, supporting them, because the STA likes to encourage lots of people who are starting off in their IT career to become involved and gain experience. But I'll touch on that in a second. So yeah, doing the test management, test lead type role, and then also rolling my sleeves up and getting stuck in with the test execution of that platform. And that platform, I'll briefly summarize, is it allows towns and regions to have a community and retail hub, so they can post lots of news and events and stuff that's going on in the community, and also allows businesses and organizations to promote and describe their businesses and the services that they have on offer. And there's also an e-commerce aspect to it as well, where those businesses can sell the goods and services that they offer. So yeah, I've had a great time. Okay.
Yeah, no, thanks, Andy. Yeah, and I love the fact that you've mentioned Soul, given it's imminent in its launch. So that's a good breadcrumb there for us. So thank you. I mean, Gary is as kind of the lead of Aginor Technology. What has that brought to you? Andy had a massive portfolio of projects you mentioned there, and we're eternally grateful for his help. You know, what do you think the STA has offered to Aginor?
Well, I think the first thing that you can see or hear when Andy's speaking is the enthusiasm, you know. So everybody who's got involved with STA speaks very, very positively about it. Very, very positive reflections on the type of projects, the people that they've managed to be engaged with, etc. So in terms of Andy, I think it's been extremely positive for him, borne out by the enthusiasm that you can hear.
Yeah, fantastic. And I heard he'd been working with yourself, Caroline, as a kind of the client on the other end. What could you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Andy's very humble in his approach, because he did much more than just test a system for us, because we're not tech minded. We're not, we were doing the testing ourselves. So, through Andy's skills and knowledge and experience, he worked with us to, his breadth of experience, he helped guide us really and create a test plan and explain and give us, so it was almost like knowledge exchange transfer at the same time as supporting us with all the testing. So, thanks to Andy really, and Joanna, we absolutely love what the ST are doing. Social Good Connect's in the same space in terms of supporting and promoting volunteers, and it's about what that brings to companies like Gary in terms of what that means for the people that work for him and the experience they can get from working across different organisations whilst impacting the community. We're a not-for-profit organisation, so it's been amazing for us to have this support, and the benefits are massive for the business, for Andy as a volunteer, and for us as the organisation that gets that support.
Brilliant. And, it's great to be promoting the ecosystem, because, it's that teamwork that makes these things success. I'm curious, were there any kind of unexpected benefits, Gary, that you saw, sort of stuff that you maybe wouldn't expect from allowing the teams to volunteer?
Yeah, I'm not sure I would say unexpected benefits. I think I would more say fully realised benefits. So we've always been a company that supports people getting involved with charitable initiatives and doing things out of hours, etc. This has really brought it to the fore, though. So we let everybody choose to get involved in this, It was an open door policy, basically.
Oh,
A number of
fantastic.
people came forward to get involved with that. So it really did reinforce. It's all very well said, it's easy to say, yes, we support, a CSR policy. It really did. It really did. So it was a fully realized benefit. I guess some of the benefits that sprung off of it, so we could label them as unexpected. People have genuinely, in some cases, acquired new skills. So we typically operate in the finance industry. So our guys getting involved in, as Caroline said, the not-for-profit sector, it gives you a different perspective on things. You're doing things for different reasons and to support different communities. That adds to your experience, it adds to your skills, and is fantastic. So yeah, I guess that could be unexpected.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean that's one thing I've noticed. You tend to get siloed to a certain extent after years of experience in technology, and it's been great to be able to have access and discuss, tech with people working in different sectors. Andy, what about yourself? Was there anything unexpected that came up whilst you've been working on the projects?
Yeah, so I suppose as well as what we've been alluding to here is that I really pretty much hadn't experienced working for non-profits or charities, so I didn't really fully realize the challenges that they have in both, funding, taking on technology projects that they probably might not have been used to in the past, and especially the challenges that they've had over the past year. There's a couple of opportunities that I had that I was able to develop my own skill set, or I say expand upon, that was totally unexpected. So I've managed to broaden my knowledge of test automation quite a bit. So I've been using tools such as Cypress and Selenium. So it's been a bit of give and take. So I've offered my skills and experience, and I was able to get some experience back, which was great. I wasn't expecting that at all. So that's been good.
And how about yourself, Caroline? Because obviously you guys offer volunteers from tech and wider. What are the kind of unexpected benefits you see being realised by people that you work with?
Well, it's just so wide, really, Joanna, because you've got, from the business perspective, you have employees saying to their employers, I'm so glad that you got involved in this and that you allowed us the opportunity to go and expand our skill set, get involved with other organisations, take time out. We talk about the antidote to stress and anxiety at work being wholeheartedness, which is, doing something for someone else, expecting nothing in return. And that feeling that you get from that can last you the whole week, So we're seeing real evidence of employees really connecting much more to their employer, their business, because they're allowing them the access to go and volunteer and do some great work and really reconnect with the local community, particularly because of the situation that we've all been in. And from the employee perspective, those who've never volunteered before now have easy access through Social Good Connect to be able to go and do that. So they're saying to us, this is just amazing. We had a whole team of people that we galvanized in an hour to go down to the vaccine centre and become vaccine controllers. Just amazing, really, the power of people coming together really quickly. We were able to do that really quickly. And from the charity side, it's not just about poor charity, woe is me, I need all this help. It's really, really a collaborative approach. And I think that businesses, employees can learn so much from what the charitable sector are doing around impact and measurement and, all that great stuff. So it's a win-win, really, for the three organisations, the areas.
Excellent. And Caroline, do you feel there's an element that COVID has sort of changed the sort of appetite for this? Is there kind of anything that that's happening currently that sort of offers that, why now? Why are things different?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hugely, I would say. So, we were going to be launching Social Good Connect anyway, pre-COVID. We did all our feasibility studies, spoke to businesses, charities, employees. So we were on track to launch at the end of last year, but we accelerated it because of COVID. But what we are seeing more and more and more is people saying to me they're dusting off the CSR policy that they've had for years. And actually, it's becoming a core part of the business. It was always a little bit of an add-on. It was always, maybe sits in the HR department, might sit in someone's desk, go and do that CSR thing. Actually, it's about the core of what a business is. It's about how do they treat their people, how do they work alongside communities, what do they do about the environment. So it's a much wider piece now, and it's just wonderful to see, because I've been banging the drum about CSR for years. So it's so wonderful to see businesses and people really getting behind the fact that I think COVID elevated it for sure. This immediate need for us to be supporting our local communities really came to the fore, and it just shows you the power of that. So, CSR is here to stay and grow, and it's something that all businesses can get involved in, and volunteering is a real low-hanging fruit way of which to start that process, really.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so, Gary, do you feel
Yeah, I would echo that. Sorry, I was just didn't mean to interrupt you there,
No,
but
great.
just on the point that Caroline's making, so we've certainly noticed that a lot more people in the company are looking for ways to offer their time and to make a contribution. So two examples of that in the near future are the Edinburgh Marathon. We've always had people taking part in that type of activity, but there's so many more people than there was before, and also a sponsored parachute jump. So some brave souls. Yeah, not me, but some brave souls are going to be taking part in that. So these are the types of things that are coming out of this mindset of, hey, we can get involved in things. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
Do you know what else, Gary? It's like, at the end of the day, we're all people, aren't we? We've all missed human contact. We've all missed hugs, oxytocin, all that great stuff. And I think, people are really looking for it, particularly employers. We need to up our game in terms of the health and well-being of our people. Yeah. And volunteering is a fantastic way in which we can do that, alongside other sort of, physical and mental well-being activities. But it's,
Yeah, I agree.
But do you see, with the kind of fad and increasing awareness of climate change and the sort of element of the plans and targets for net zero, do you see that as a threat to the sort of more volunteering arm of CSG? So people end up doing more in the climate space rather than the kind of wider volunteering opportunities?
To be honest, John, I'll jump in. I think it's here to stay. I don't think that volunteering will ever go, because we live and work in our communities, and that's what's most important. What we've found is people will say to us, actually, I can do virtual volunteering, so they can come on our platform and find a virtual volunteering opportunity, but actually I still want to do it in my local area, and I still want to do it with causes that are important to me, and I want to choose the cause. I don't want my employer to say, this is what we're doing a charity of the year, that's the only one that you can do, because that doesn't connect us as people. We're all different, we all have different passions. So I think, the ESG, the economic social governance landscape, is brilliant, because that's about supporting the measurement of those environmental, sustainable, net carbon pieces. But CSR is still all about people and your social responsibility. So to me, it goes hand in hand, and I think it's an enhancement, actually.
Yeah. No, and you mentioned there what's nice is, as an individual, sort of having choice of which charity you do. I mean, Andy, was that something you really enjoyed with the sort of spread of projects, being able to sort of work with? I mean, Crossreach is very, very different to Social Good Connect.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that the STA has such a wide variety of projects means that I'm not saying you can pick and choose, but you certainly can have a look down at the list of vacancies that are there, or volunteers that are needed, and you can almost say, okay, I've got a bit of experience in that, or I've got a lot of experience in that. I'll see if I can make a contribution to that area. On the flip side of that as well is that you have some people who may not have much experience at all in a particular area, but they can say, okay, I don't have much experience, but I'm enthusiastic, I'm willing to learn and develop myself, I would like to join. And the STA projects have provided a safe space to that. So the projects are delivering real projects. They're going to be used by charities and non-profits, but it is in more of a kind of safer environment that you might get elsewhere. So people get the opportunity to enhance their skills in a good way, in a more secure environment than you might get.
Yeah, and I guess, Gary, across the the employees you have, has that been sort of something that they've enjoyed as well, that sort of breadth of exposure to charities rather than just maybe picking one a year as sort of historically?
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, we're involved in a number of different charitable initiatives, and different people have different things that that interest them. So having a breadth of things and letting people show themselves what they want to get involved in is definitely the way to go. I think I agree with Caroline. If you just point them down one route, that's the only thing we can do, then that seems very limiting. So it's good that
some of us aren't interested in a parachute jump, but some of us might want to.
I'm absolutely with you there, Andy. Actually, it scares the bejesus out of me.
There's something to me about time as well. So I'll talk to volunteers, and of course, not everyone gets involved in volunteering. So the businesses that we work with will, if we can get between 10 and 25% of the organisation involved, that is brilliant, because historically, particularly in big companies, it sits around 5 to 7% of people will get involved. So I think making it as easy as possible for people by employers, for example, encouraging, motivating, giving some time for them to do this, as well as providing tools like we have, Joanna, in Social Good Connect, and you've got in STA, to make it easy for them to find those opportunities and have an impact. It's all these things that just make it easy, and you get, time's about what you value, isn't it? So I definitely wouldn't value doing a parachute jump or any sort of training for it, right? Or even the marathon. But, give me half an hour to go and do something for someone that helps them and achieve their goals, then that's where I like to spend my, so it's all about what you value, I suppose.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point as well. So I guess, looking forward and obviously we're hoping to build on the success we've had so far and maximise that impact in the ecosystem. Is there anything you'd like us to build into, future projects, or sort of anything that you'd recommend we look into next, in terms of that CSR offering? One for you, Gary.
From my perspective, I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, I think all of the main disciplines are covered. This discussion with Andy's about testing, but there's been project managers involved, there's been different technical staff involved. So I think there is already a good breadth of engagement with different disciplines. I think it's more just maximising the use of that. So there is still across all of the companies like us, a large contingent of people who have got real skills and real value, and it's just harnessing that. So I think it's more about how do you exploit, sorry to use that word, but how do you fully harness the capability that's out there rather than focus in different areas? Yeah.
Would you like to see more of anything, Andy? Is there anything we could be doing?
I suppose really it's a bit of a difficult one, really, but it's putting the message out there that the Scottish Tech Army is here, and we do a lot of good stuff for a lot of good organisations, and we appreciate people's time and skills. So really, it's pushing that message out there, because as Gary said, many organisations have an absolute breadth of skills, including Aginor. So there's a lot of skills in it. A lot of people, as we've seen over the last year, want to contribute. So there's a massive pool of talent out there for people to become involved.
Cool. And Caroline, for yourself, anything with the future engagements?
Yeah, I think for me, I mentioned it right at the start, but this knowledge transfer piece, so there's many charitable organisations out there that don't know what they don't know. And so even if they do put up a job that needs done from a technical perspective, just doing that job is brilliant, but doing that job and sharing the knowledge and helping us to understand where the gaps are, what we should be thinking about for the future, that is really crucial and critical for the sector. And even, we have many charities who say, well, we don't really know what we need, whether it be, I don't know, mobile phones, whether it be, moving their services online. I mean, even simple things like that is really, really tough. So I think some kind of knowledge transfer education piece would be really beneficial for the sector.
With huge impact. I completely agree with you there. Right, I must now open the floor to some questions as we've had a number coming in. So right, let me pick the first one.